They have broken him already. Ollie Lawrence is out. Gutted. The form player in England and one of the form players in Europe. I don't think that's overstating the point, is it? Hey, tell me in the comments if that's over-egging the pudding. I don't think so. He has been that good. One of the first names on the team sheet, if not the first name on the team sheet for England for the upcoming Six Nations. A man who can finally stitch the back line together, create a midfield focal point. And he's out injured. I'm really gutted about this one. Yeah, it was his moment to become the main man. And Ollie, we wanted you to replace Manu Tuilagi, but not by getting injured in the way Manu Tuilagi always does. Oh dear. Tell me what you think. What do you think the England backline will or should look like now with the Six Nations ahead? Leave your comments down below. And while you're there, give the video a thumbs up, help spread the word. And hit subscribe on the channel. So just consider, of the World Cup squad, the 33-man World Cup squad from France, only a couple of months ago, none of the centres that featured in the 12 and 13 shirts in that tournament are in the England squad right now. Because Ollie Lawrence, one of them, is injured. Manu Tuilagi, injured. Joe Marchant, unavailable, now playing in France. And Owen Farrell is the other one. Of course, taking a step back from international rugby. And whilst Ollie Lawrence is not a 12, or hasn't played much of his rugby at 12, he looked like the man to finally put all of the issues with that position, which England have had for many, many years, put that behind us and bring his Premiership and club form into an international jersey. But he's out. So what does this mean? Well, I guess we have to consider the replacements for Ollie Lawrence at this point before we really look at that, because it's not just Ollie Lawrence that is out. Oscar Beard, who's an outside centre, is also out. So that's two of England's centres from the Six Nations squad gone. The replacement, quite interesting to see who Steve Borthwick has picked, because he's gone for winger Will Muir. Two centres out. Winger, one of the players that's in. Firstly, on Will Muir, he's named Horse at Bath, and they've even named one of the corners of the pitch Horse Corner because he scores there so often. He's been in rich form for a long time and thoroughly deserves this. Big man, runs hard, runs fast, works so hard, chasing kicks, does a brilliant defensive job for his club. So that is, he's got a lot of the attributes that make good international players. So I'm delighted for him. He deserves that. I thought he was hard done by not being in the squad in the first place. So really pleased to see him there. But interesting that two centres go down. One of the players that comes in is a winger. The other one, another Bath player, Max Ajomo, is in. I mean, this guy's got all the skills, all the tricks. His dad was a former England international blindside flanker, but a hot stepping 12 or 13 with distribution skills, with kicking skills and with running ability. He is an absolute baller. And I'm delighted to see him in an England squad and see what he can do. What do I take from the fact that there's a winger and a centre replacing two centres? I wonder if that means now he's thinking of Tommy Freeman as a 13 or as Elliot Daly as a centre as well. I suppose the fact he's got those two players that can play in midfield and on the wing might mean that's why he's gone for another winger, or because he is, I think, rewarding Will Muir for brilliant form. I suppose the other element is we don't know how bad Ollie Lawrence's or Oscar Beard's injuries are, for that matter. So I'm waiting to find out a bit of information on that, but it might not be too long, and he's just rewarding people, particularly in the case of Will Muir, for great club form. There are other injuries as well. It's got to be pointed out. There's Oscar Beard, who's out. And also Luke Cowan-Dickie, who can't catch a break. He missed out on the World Cup because of injury, and now he's been replaced in the Six Nations squad by Jamie Blamire. And what I read into that is that Jack Walker is now very much surplus to requirements. He was the third choice hooker under Steve Borthwick through the Six Nations last year in the World Cup. Nowhere to be seen. I'm happy about that because Jamie Blamire, I think, was hard done by in the first place. He's such an explosive, all-action, hard as nails hooker, and I thought he was great for England when he played. He played in the autumn internationals in 2022, was it? I want to think, against South Africa and Australia, and he looked great. Tore it up. Might have been 2021. Can't remember. Anyway, he looked really good when he played for England, so I'm glad he's got another shot. As for how the England team will look, well, I think there's only one choice now, isn't there? One man's disappointment, Ollie Lawrence, is another man's opportunity, and that opportunity is going to be hopefully taken by Fraser Dingwall, who's been playing really well for Northampton Saints, and is actually, shock horror, a 12 who could be playing in a 12 shirt. I can't see really, unless Steve Borthwick has Max Ajomo come in and start, I can't see any other way of composing his team. Could he put Henry Slade at 12? I think it's going to have to be Fraser Dingwall, isn't it? Surely. It's the way to go. Interestingly, there was an article by Charlie Morgan in the Telegraph recently where he pointed out that out of all of the England players that were in the England squad, this is before the injuries, there were between them only 3 starts in the Premiership with a number 12 on their back, and they were all Fraser Dingwalls. So he's only had 3 starts at 12 this season. There's something about that 12 shirt. We have so many foreign-born players, or foreign players, playing for Premiership clubs wearing 12. We need to start, whatever we do, we need to start picking these guys that are actual natural 12s. Fraser Dingwall is one of those. He's been playing really, really well. I think he's a good player. Give him a chance. And you know what? Now, we're disappointed about Ollie Lawrence, but if Fraser Dingwall comes in and does really well, we're in a much better place than we were, because we'll have 2 players that we know can operate in that position. And Henry Slade, glad to see him back. I see him starting. I see Tommy Freeman and Elliot Daly starting on the wings. It's hard to tell, but I can't guess which way Steve Borthwick's going to go between Marcus Smith and George Ford. The reason I've got Smith there and with care is I'm guessing maybe Steve Borthwick will want the Harlequins axis coming on as a pair. Who knows? I don't know. I may be wrong on that. And I've got Faye Waboso starting on the bench. Not because that's where I would pick him. I'd pick Will Muir there. But I think he'll pick Faye Waboso so that he can cap him and make him ineligible to play for Wales. Same reason as I think he might give a cap to Ethan Roots because England are playing Italy. What do you reckon to that? Is that what you would do? Is that what you think Steve Borthwick's going to do? What do you make of the injuries and the replacements? Lots to talk about in the comments down below. Give a thumbs up while you're there. Hit subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.